Okay, I am about to step into my microblading appointment. These eyebrows are the before. I've had them microbladed for about a year. I have makeup on right now, and she's going to touch them up. So here is the before. Okay, so I'm here with Lynn.
Hi.
She's at Venetian Nail Salon and Spa. I'm at the one in Spring, and she's gonna touch these up. What do you think?
They still look great. They really held up well. Yours really actually healed really well, and it took the pigment really well, and I'm glad that the shape stayed because you kept it really well groomed all the time.
Right now I have makeup on, so you'll wipe that off and then just see what needs to be.
We'll wipe it off and then we'll numb. We'll pre-numb it before we actually do the touch-up.
Okay.
So we'll go through step by step and then let you guys see how the whole procedure goes.
I'm so excited for
Yes.
this. I love it. I will say, when I first did it, I was so freaked out because I thought they were so dark initially, and I thought the shape, like I just was not used to the shape, but now I 100% love it.
She wasn't used to the shape.
Yeah.
She was like, I think they're just so close.
Yes.
I'm not used to it, but it's normal for everyone because you're just so used to what you've had and over plucking and stuff that when it's done, it does take time to adjust and to get used to it.
100%
But when
agree.
people that don't know you, have never seen you, they don't know the difference.
Right.
Or they don't know what you had before because they just think this is your brows.
Well, and now when I look back at old pictures of myself with my little brows and they were like way over here, I'm like, it aged me. It made me look older, and to have fuller brows, I think it's like way more youthful. Right. So I'm ready?
Okay, ready. We're gonna pre-numb.
Okay.
We're gonna get all comfortable. Let me just clean off the brows.
And I will say it really didn't hurt because the first time you didn't use that numbing cream at first, the first pass.
Yes, usually
it didn't hurt.
For a brand new set, I don't for the first pass, but then all touch-ups we have to just because we are going back to redo the same lines, and it does hurt. It's kind of like when you have a cut and you're going back to recut the same cut line. It does hurt because the skin is already thin there, so I always numb it before I do a touch-up. The shape is there and everything, but you can see her hair right here. That's where I started, but it was so far. Usually the first set of hair should always be contoured to your nose, the two spots of your nose here.
And can you see where I didn't even have any hair? This is just your microblading.
See, so since I brushed it, this is a year later of how it's supposed to heal. It healed really nice. She still has the line, it's still visible, the shape is still there, only because she kept it well groomed. I'm gonna apply the numbing. So we'll apply and we'll leave it on for 15 minutes.
And then start?
And then start, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then how long does the whole procedure take?
Usually with touch-up, it usually takes like an hour. The most, an hour and a half, but it shouldn't be longer than that. Okay, I'm gonna put a little wrap so it can absorb it easier.
Okay.
And we will leave that on for 15 minutes.
So do you put the strokes exactly where they were the first time?
And if I see any strokes that are totally faded, I will add that stroke again.
Okay. And then how do you get the right color? Like how do you match my brows?
It's whatever color your real brows are. Because now that line is faded, we can't do that line, so I have to just match it to your brow color, not your hair color, your brow. So that way it looks like my strokes and your hair strokes blend in together and looks like one set of hair.
Okay.
Instead of like, some people come in and they want a lighter color because their brows are dark and their hair is light, but we can't do that because then you have two set of hair. Then when you don't have makeup on, people will look at your brows and say, why do you have this hair with this color and your hair another color? So it doesn't make sense to do that. So I always tell people I can't really make it lighter. If you want it darker or lighter, you can just use a brown pencil or a lighter pencil to blend it in, and then it could look lighter. But when I do strokes with microblading, it has to match the brow color hair. Your color, it's more like a brown, but it has a little more gold in there. So what I do is I use all Fibrow pigments. Easy color for me to mix. There's only 5 colors. There's a golden brown, a brown 1, brown 2, and brown 3, and then there's a black. And of course I hardly use black because black is just so dark, unless you're really dark hair, and it's more for Arabic people or dark color skin people, then I use black. But most of the time, even with black, I mix it with a little brown because you just don't want it to look bluish grayish when it heals. Yeah. So with hers, I would probably do a brown 2 mixed with a brown, mixed with a golden brown.
I think this is working. I feel like
it's getting numb.
Yeah, like I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe. It's not like tingling, but I feel like it's getting numb.
So the consistency of the pigment is really, really thick. With microblading it is. Usually with tattoo, then it's a thinner pigment.
How is microblading different than the tattoo?
So tattoo, just like any other type of tattoo, it does go down 3 layers of skin. So that's why it's so permanent. With microblading, it only goes in the first, it's called the dermis, is only the first layer of skin. So very, very right on top of the skin. So that's why it's only semi-permanent, and it fades in time from a year, because you know we wash our face, we exfoliate our face, so that skin and that tissue heals really fast. With tattoo, it goes so deep because it's needle that it's more permanent.
So will I need to come back for a touch-up for this, like the first time I came back in 6 weeks?
No, because you already have the lines, so we're just re-entering the pigment back into those lines. Okay. So you don't have to. Unless it didn't take it that well, then usually I say, okay, just come in and we can do a little like touch-up. Okay. But most of the time after a year or so, they never have to come back. So this is after 15 minutes of numbing. We're gonna take off the clear wrap, and then we're gonna wipe. I'm just gonna leave the numbing over here just in case I take longer, then I don't want that numb to go away. Okay. So we're just gonna clean it, and then I'm gonna see all the little baby hairs around hers, and I'm gonna just shave it off so that way it looks like it's more cleaner look when we're done. Just a tiny, all these little blonde. Okay, so I'm gonna wear the ink ring on my finger. And this is the tool that we use. So these are all disposable tools. And this is the blade. You can see it's very tiny, tiny. It's actually 18 needles lined up, and it makes a blade. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna start. What I do is, I don't know if you had coffee this morning.
Me?
Yes. Sometimes coffee does cause a little bleeding, so if you see a tiny little blood come out, don't freak out. It's normal.
I think you said don't drink coffee, but I forgot.
Yeah, it's okay. So what I do is I stretch the skin and I look for all the lines that she had in the past, and I go over it before I even put the ink in. I know it's hard, you can't see what I'm doing, but I can actually see.
I can't feel anything.
Oh, good. So I'm going over the same lines that had faded. She's not feeling anything. That means the numb is really numb.
No, I can't feel anything. I sort of can feel your finger like pressing down, but that's it.
I'm pressing down so I can stretch the skin, and when you stretch the skin, the lines look thinner. And that's basically what I'm doing, and then after this I will rub the ink in. So I'm going to do this for the rest of the brows. Okay, so we just did this side. I finished opening up all the lines that from our previous.
It only took like a minute, a couple minutes. That was fast.
And then after it's open, I rub the ink in so that the ink can slowly absorb into the lines that I had reopened again. And then I'm gonna move to this side and do the same thing. And then I'll go back and pass it one more time so that to make sure all the ink had absorbed in. So now we're gonna start on this side. It's really quick because shaping is the part that takes the longest. I went over the first pass. I went through and opened all the lines, and now I am rubbing the ink in so that it can absorb into the lines that I had reopened again.
And that numbing cream really works because I can just feel like pressure where you're pushing, but I couldn't feel any of the scratching. You could hear it a little bit.
So while that side is being rubbed, I'm gonna erase this side so you can see slowly that the ink, see, slowly absorbed in. And I'm gonna numb it one more time so that she won't feel it when I go in and do the second pass. The second numb is a gel numb, which is only for open cuts. So it really numbs it really quick. So we'll give it like a minute or two, and then I'll go in and redo the second pass.
I love how it's looking so far.
Yes, so that we're gonna go over the second pass. It should be numb now. I just re-numbed it again. So now I'm gonna go over the lines, and then wherever lines are missing, I'm gonna put it in for her so that way it can look blended in. So what I do is I go really slow.
You just hear a little scratching, but I don't feel it.
Okay, so we are finishing up the second pass on the second eyebrow. I'm trying to see where she needs more lines. So I'm going over. This one is already numb. We had just finished this one.
Yeah, I don't feel it.
So I'm going over the second line. So as you can see, this one, I feel it the second time. So the lines are nice and clear. And then we're gonna do the same over here. So I'm gonna match both sides. If any lines are shorter than others, we'll match it, and then we'll rub the ink in and let it sit for 15 minutes. Now we are done with the second pass. I am gonna go in and rub in the final ink, and we're gonna rub it in, make sure it goes into every single line, absorbs the pigment, and then we're gonna leave it on for 15 minutes. It's kind of sore right now, right, Megan?
Yeah, this part feels just like you're touching touching something. Like I can feel it, but I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, it probably is like a 5.
Yeah.
Painful wise, it just feels sore, not like super painful. Kind of like if you poured alcohol in something, like.
Yeah, it's also because the numbing is wearing off as well, because we don't need to numb it anymore. I'm not going back to scrape it. So I'm gonna finish all the ink and just rub it.
I love having my eyebrows down because even when you have no makeup, it looks like your face is semi put together. Like if you go to the pool or anything like that.
Here you go. Doesn't she look pretty?
So isn't this so funny how it looks so similar to the before, but it's actually the microblading and not the makeup like that I had on before. So it's a little dark, it'll lighten up and fade some, but I really love it.